Hiya, Joanne Thompson here. Thank you for coming back to me, and thank you for all your lovely messages and comments that I had from last week's video. It makes these videos that I do all worthwhile. It takes me a lot to actually be able to come and sit in front of a camera in a room on my own and talk to myself, because I would never dream of doing that at all. So thank you very much for all your support, because it's just absolutely amazing, and I'm a bit blown away by it, so thank you. If you hear a crackling in the background, it's because I've got a fire going. Okay, I'm not on fire really. So what I've done is, because I want to talk to you today about bipolar 2 disorders, I've made some notes purely so that I don't forget to just mention anything or waffle on too much about certain things. So if you see me looking down, it's only because I've made notes, just so that I make sure that I capture everything for you. So last week I spoke to you about BPD, which is a personality disorder. And this week I'm going to speak to you about bipolar 2, which is a mood disorder. Now, some of the things you might think, well, that's the same, but they do vary in different ways, in the way that they fluctuate and the way that they take hold of me. I know, like I said last week, just because you've met me with bipolar doesn't mean that you've met somebody else with bipolar, and we will all experience these symptoms differently, but they're all as severe as one another. It's just that our experiences and the way that the mind works and the way that we control our mind will always work differently for each other. So I hope you'll find this video interesting. If you've got any comments, please leave them at the end, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you've got as well. So I'll jump straight into it. So what is bipolar 2? So bipolar 2 is a mood disorder, and previously it was known as a manic depressant, because you have manias and then you have the real deep, dark, depressive state. So I'm going to read a little bit as well, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. But the depression for me is so much worse than the mania. Everybody will go, oh yeah, the mania is great because we get loads done. The depression, you don't do anything. So it's extremely low mood that can last for days, weeks, or even months. I mean, I've had it to the point where I have had depression, deep, dark depression for months. And it's debilitating. It really is debilitating. You get mood, you get angry, you get aggressive, you're irritable, you're anxious, you're restless, you're crying, you're avoidance of everyone and everything. Now, when you talk about depression like this, you imagine it to be like that all the time. And although it is like that the majority of the time, you do get these days. So if somebody popped round, you would manage. They would probably not know that you were depressed, although all these thoughts are going off in your head, and your head feels like crap because you feel depressed. You feel like I always say I feel like I'm down in the rabbit hole, but people actually don't know, and that's one of my biggest things. Is what happens on the outside is definitely not what is happening on the inside. So you can very easily put a mask over your face and go, yes, I'm absolutely fine, and this is where it comes from. Yeah, I'm fine, I'm doing really, really well at the minute. It's what we don't say in between. Yeah, I'm fine, I'm doing really, really well at this precise moment. But 2 hours ago I was really struggling, and I was crying in bed, and I couldn't get out of bed, and people want me to have a shower, and I can't have a shower because I just haven't got the energy, and I just haven't got the motivation. And it can get where you don't shower for days, where you sit there in your dressing gown, you don't eat properly, you don't want to cook, you don't want to look after your family. I mean, I don't work. I would love to work, but I can't work because there's just no way during a depressive episode that I would be able to get out there and go and work. And because I'm not receiving any therapies at the moment, the only thing I can do is try my own mind control, doing meditation, and I've had some help from my sister-in-law in Australia who's a therapist, but I still find it very difficult over Zoom or video calls to actually personalise anything, to actually, there's still stuff that you still hold back from people because it's not that one-to-one, it's not that same connection, and unfortunately with the circumstances we're in, my therapies are not going to come very quickly, so it's all down to me and my self-medication, the meditations that she's given me as well. Obviously I'm under a psychiatrist, so I do take medication for the depressive states as well. But it's tough, and when you're in this deep dark hole, trying to get out of it, on your own is not easy, and if you've not got support, then again, my heart goes out to you, because I'm lucky. I've got Steve supporting me, I've got my family around me, I've got people checking up on me, I've got friends that check up on me. I've got 2 friends, but they still check up on me. And even if it's just, are you okay? I can always say to them, actually, no, I'm not okay. And not everybody can do that. But just give it a go. Just ask your mate, are you okay? And then ask them, are you really okay? Because they might actually want to go, no, actually, I'm not okay, and I'm doing this and I'm struggling with this. Because sometimes just talking about it, it doesn't get us out of the rabbit hole, but it makes us just see things a little bit more clearer. It seems to clear the mind a little bit of all the dreadful thoughts, I mean, I'm lucky I don't get suicidal thoughts, but I know a lot of people get suicidal thoughts, self-harming thoughts, thoughts of, why would I want to be here? Why do I want to be here and living in this state? Why should I go out and earn money just to pay the bills, to do this, to die anyway? That's how depression gets you. Depression takes you deep and darker than just a bad day. It's not a bad day. It's not, I've got up this morning, left the bloody straighteners on and forgot to lock the front door. Oh my God, that's just not how it works. It is just not a bad day like that. There's no, during my depressive states, although I struggle with sleeping anyway, I find that I don't sleep even more during my depressive states. Why? Because I've got no idea why. I want to go to sleep because I want to shut my brain off. I want to stop all this madness that's going off in here, and oh, it's just so dark and nothing's positive. Everything's a negative. Steve will say, let's take the dog for a walk. No, because what if the dog gets attacked on the path? Everything's negative, negative, negative. There is no positive in life. There is no point in getting dressed. There's no point in having a shower. There's no point in doing this, and there's no point in doing that. And I am sorry, but that is the truth of depression. Depression takes hold more than any other thing that I know. But it's all in here. And we should be able to control our minds, not our minds control us. But without correct therapy, I don't know how to do that yet. And I do, like I say, I do talk, I write a lot of letters that do make sense, I write a lot of letters that don't make sense, because all I'm doing is trying to get all this out of my head, which I know if things were different and we didn't have COVID, I'd be in these therapies, and I was in therapy before COVID, so I kind of get the idea that we need to write stuff down, get it out, talk on these video calls, talk on video chat to people, pick up the phone. But the trouble is, when we're in depression, we don't want to actually pick up the phone, and we don't want to actually admit that we're not doing great. And especially if you're a man. Now, men find it so hard to say, do you know what, actually, babe, I'm not coping. I'm not coping with this lockdown. I'm not coping with today. I'm not coping with going out to work. You can speak out too. This is not just for women. This is for everybody that suffers with mental health. And if depression takes you, whether you are male or female, you need to shout out for some help, and you need to say, I am struggling, because it's okay not to be okay. So I'm not going to go any more into the depression, apart from, if you are struggling with depression, then please get some help. If you just type into Google just depression, then you will get a list of numbers come up. And I know if you don't know where to look, just type in Mind, and Mind will give you a list of numbers that you can call, and there's crisis teams and everything out there. Because remember, this is not a medical video. This is my take on how depression and bipolar 2 and the mania take me. And just because I've been diagnosed does not mean that you will have the same as what I've got, because we're all different and we all show these symptoms differently. I'm just showing you my way. So I'm going to move on from the depression and go to the mania, because the mania is amazing. It's not, but the mania is amazing. I get stuff done. I get up in the morning after having maybe 2-3 hours sleep, and I can clean, and I can put my makeup on, and I can feel amazing, and I can do anything I want to. I'll sign up for college courses, I'll set up my own business, I'll make a business plan for a cafe that I'm never actually going to have. I'll do everything. I've set up for 3 college courses, Drawing and Mania, that are all still sat under the stairs at the moment in boxes waiting to be completed, because this is what Mania does. It makes you elated, so you can spend money, you can gamble, you can do anything that you want to, because there's no consequences. It's almost like being a child and a child in a sweet shop going, go and grab whatever you want, go on, you do it, and you can have anything, and your teeth won't rot, and you'll not get fat, and you won't get diabetes, and anything else that you can have anything. And that's what it's like being in Mania. I can have anything that I want, and I can do anything that I want, because I'm amazing. I'm absolutely amazing. But we only get to a certain point with bipolar 2. Now, bipolar 2, they say we are hypermanic, whereas in bipolar 1, I know that they go full mania. Now, to me, hypermanic is bad enough. So if you go even worse, I know people, I've seen blogs where people go out and they'll have sex binges, and they'll go and just sleep with lots of different people, and then they'll go and gamble lots of money, and it's a lot more severe, the bipolar, than the bipolar 2. So I am quite fortunate in some respects that I have only got bipolar 2. Not only got bipolar 2, but got, But you know what I'm trying to say to you. The other thing that I find when I'm in mania is I'm creative. So some of the artwork, there's a few more over the other side as well, but some of the artwork, so these are what I do when I'm in a manic state. When I'm not in a manic state, I can't do them. I can't do anything. It's the strangest thing ever. It's like I'm a child that's trying to draw a house and it ends up being a circle and it's supposed to be a square. It's like I haven't got the skills to do anything. It's like I've said on my Facebook page, I used to paint, I used to make cakes. Excuse me. I used to make cakes and do all that, but I just can't. When I'm not in a manic state, I cannot paint, I cannot draw, I cannot create. So it also gives me this massive creative side, but it's also, I'll do little bits of it. So I'll do the washing up, and then I'll do the hoovering, and then I'll do a little bit of painting, and then I'll make something for the garden. So if you see my house when I'm in a manic state, you can tell, because there's lots of little bits that have all been put together, all been started, but actually nothing's been put together because I'm manic and flitting from one thing for another. And what I've had to do on this stage, because although I might seem pretty calm at the moment, I'm actually on diazepam at the moment, because I am in a manic state, and I know it's a bipolar manic state through the way that I keep talking. And talking very quickly, and I'm moving around, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And why do I know it's a bipolar and not a BPD? Because I've been like this for over a week. If it was BPD, we're more likely the up and the down, the up and the down, the up and the down, but I'm not. I'm constantly like it. So I'm not sleeping very much either as well. So at the moment I'm on some medications that are trying to stable me, and I do have an appointment with a psychiatrist. So I'm looking after myself, so nobody needs worry about me, because this video isn't for me, although it is for me, but it's for you, and it's just an informative video for you to give you an insight into bipolar 2. So I hope it's been informative for you. I hope I've managed to cover everything that I'm doing. I've also said I'm in a bit of a manic state, so if this video doesn't make any sense, I apologise, and I'll try and do a better one next week. So see you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.